Hey guys, enter the stars. And we're going to condense some of these down in our search for the 88th episode of all of these different television series over the years. This, of course, is a scene from Andy Griffith, and this is the 88th episode. And in this episode, the darlings are these hillbillies that come into town, and there's 6 of them. But the interesting thing is he's pouring 11 capfuls of water into his radiator. 611 is 911. There's also a lot of Flight 93 references in the numerology of this episode, as well as the number 37. All of these things that we've identified as concrete patterns going back decades and decades throughout television, film, movies, music. Also in this episode there is a love theme, a Valentine theme, as the woman that you see here has a crush on the sheriff, and she has a boyfriend that's in the military, but because he's gone she falls for the sheriff. But when the boy comes back from the military, he offers her a tiger eye ring. So again, we have the ring theme as well going on with this. Now, of course, this episode aired in 1963, so that accounts for the 93 references. We're going to fast forward to the $6 Million Man. This was a 1977 episode, and this was in fact the 88th episode as well. It aired on November 27th, 1977. Now we know that Barack Obama's last year in office will be the Hebrew year 5777. So in pulling up this 88th episode, the opening scene is called Target Steve Austin, and they show the Twin Towers in Los Angeles. The Century Plaza Towers, a 44-story building. 2 44-story buildings, which equals 88, of course, and it's the 88th episode, so there's no mistake what the intended secret coding is. And these Twin Towers were designed by Minoru Yamasaki, the same guy who designed the World Trade Center, and were modeled after the World Trade Center. So we are going to take a closer look at the $6 Million Man, Target Steve Austin, to see if there's anything in there we can find with references to the World Trade Center. Now, before we get into this episode, we've covered this before, but I just want to quickly touch on it. The Twin Towers in Los Angeles encode also 8s all over the place. Look at the coordinates and the towers. 34.05888, so there's a 888 there, and then there's a 118. That's 8 times 11, that's 88 as well. And of course, again, it's 2 towers at 44 floors each, that's 88. Now again, you guys, the purpose of this is to document the pattern, right? We saw the same marriage love theme with Mork and Mindy, the 88th episode of Mork and Mindy as well. Okay, she comes out in a wedding dress to try to remind Mork about the fact that they were married because Mork has amnesia. And then I was shocked to find that also this episode of the $6 Million Man also has a theme of love, newlyweds, marriage, as it says here.
When we make it, they know the classified projects we've got going. And they've got our top secret code series. Figure that out. Somebody on the inside? I can't believe that, but sure, we're just going to have to accept that as a fact of life.
You mean Oscar has no leads at all? No. They've got to be pretty smart to push Oscar.
They just got us with our backs up against the wall. However, I think we got a way to set a trap for them that's going to work. Do the whole thing, Steve.
Yeah, good old Oscar.
So the scene you're looking at, this is just unbelievable. The scene you're looking at here, the elevator, there it gets booby trapped, an explosive goes off, the elevator goes all the way down to the basement almost, before Steve Austin can rescue this guy. And then listen to the dialogue here.
Hurt? No, I'm all right. I'm all right. Here, I'll patch you through to Oscar from the test center.
Now remember, they're in the Twin Towers of Los Angeles.
Steve, how'd that happen?
It looked like explosives were rigged to the cable. They'd go off the second we reached the top.
Well, I told you these guys played rough.
Yeah, well, they made a believer out of me.
And just before this, they were talking about people on the inside job.
I didn't talk to you because I couldn't be sure my car wasn't bugged. That we weren't under surveillance.
Are you serious?
I've never been more serious. As a matter of fact, Steve, maybe right here, right now somewhere.
Oh, come on, Frank.
Let me give it to you quick. Can we go? OSI's got a king-size security leak. Somebody out there, completely invisible, extremely well organized, has somehow managed to invade our internal security. They've tapped us, they've bugged us, they photographed us, they're driving us crazy. Now, we've let word that you're going to be transporting a new, highly classified nuclear power unit to one of our experimental reactor stations out in the Southwest Desert area. Now, Steve, I don't know if you're aware of this or not. That unit, when it's activated, becomes a power source capable of lighting a city the size of Los Angeles for 5 years. That'll give you some idea of the money this group could make if they could, say, sell it to an undeveloped nation.
So you heard the nuclear reference there. Now watch the missile, the ballistic missile.
If they could get their hands on it.
Exactly.
Why not just transport it by a company of Marines?
No, they'd just ignore it, let it go.
The honeymoon Valentine theme. Listen.
Hello.
Steve, I want you to meet your wife, Joan.
Hi, Joan.
Hi.
I teamed her up with you for this mission.
You got good taste.
Now, you two are going to be traveling in a motorhome. Honeymooners. Get the motorhome rigged so we can house the power pack underneath the floorboards.
Here we get the twinning reference. Twins again, Twin Towers.
That'll have to do. By the way, how's your cooking?
Pretty awful.
What about TV dinners?
So the woman you saw wrapped in the bandages now becomes Joan. So you get the doubling, the doppelganger, twin references.
Bye, Joan.
So she's going to eventually impersonate this woman later in the episode. Steve had stopped to get apple pie. There's your Big Apple New York reference.
Yes.
How about eating up the apple pie?
Here's our Valentine's Day reference, 14 and 22. 214 is February 14th. Listen.
We have a small delay here. Nothing to worry about. Meet us where Highway 14 intersects with Highway 22.
Will do, four-wheeler.
The $6 million man pushes over a Christmas tree in the road to stop the bad guys. I mean, you can't get any more blatant than this. Christmas, 9/11, it's all here. So the whole episode is about them transporting this device that is a bomb and they're in this RV. So they're like trying to elude these bad guys. This lady is the double. She impersonates the other woman. They kidnap her. Steve Austin locks her into the back room, but then the bomb is activated. And the point of this is the bomb is a ring. Watch. That is the bomb. That's Brookhaven. And Steve realized it's been activated after it was shot by the bad guys as they were leaving. And so he tries to drive the RV across the bridge. So here you get your dust reference, and immediately after you get the ring reference, the ring bombs. So we get the dustification of the towers. Watch. And they make sure that we get the dust theme. And more dust. So the scene ends with him throwing that bomb up in the air, and it explodes after it had been activated. And just, the same elements repeated over and over again, you guys, across all of these different episodes. Take care and be safe.